crazy mother.
Praise the sun. Praise the sun. Praise the sun. What's going on, Dark Souls fans? Welcome back to Next Level X. As some of you might have seen, Namco Bandai recently released a new trailer for the PvP Arena feature coming out in the Ashes of Ariendel DLC that drops later this month. That's right, guys, they released an entire trailer showcasing some of the aspects of this PvP Arena, which is super exciting. I cannot wait to get in there and do some true arena PvP. It's going to be super sick. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and break down that trailer and talk about a couple other aspects of this PvP arena that we've found out prior to its release on October 25th. So just to get this out of the way as well, I am going to talk about a couple of things that are a little bit spoilery. A couple other Dark Souls YouTubers had an opportunity to go out to the Bandai Namco offices and play some of the new PvP Arena stuff, and they've made some really awesome videos, and I've gotten a lot of information from them that I'm going to talk about with you guys. So if you do want to go into this completely blind, I am going to talk about some weapons and armor and a couple things of that nature. So if you do want to go into it blind, just know that I am going to talk about that stuff. So you know, feel free to tune out if you'd like. But if you are down to hear about some of these details, then go ahead and stick around, and we're going to break down all that stuff for you guys. Alright, so first I want to start out by just talking about the trailer a little bit. So this trailer is pretty cool. They basically started out by illustrating some of the other multiplayer functions that are already in the game that new players or people who haven't tried out Dark Souls before might not be aware of. They showcase the Purple Covenant and how you can betray people or help people. They showcase invading and things like that. But the real bread and butter of this trailer is showcasing the new arena feature coming out in the DLC. Now, from this trailer alone, we don't get a ton of information. We see a 3v3 battle happening, and as far as this trailer would have you believe, like, that, could very well be the only, arena mode that this DLC is going to offer, but that is not the case. So, getting into it a little bit, as far as the different modes in the arena, so there's going to be a duel, which is a 1v1 with no Estus. There's also a mode called Brawl. They offer that in a 2-man, a 4-man, and a 6-man, and that is a free-for-all battle with limited Estus use. There's also another mode for 2v2s, a mode for 3v3s, and then they also have a mode for co-op/group, which we're thinking is probably going to be how you can group up with your buddies and fight other random players. That being said, there is also a password matchmaking system involved in the arena as well. And along with these different types of battles that you can have in the arena, apparently there's also going to be some sort of ranking system for those different modes independently. And they're using something called Honor. You have something called Dual Honor, Brawl Honor, and as you play and progress in the arena, you gain honor. I would assume for wins. I don't think that it's actually going to play into, like, are you an honorable player? Do you bow before you fight? I don't think that's actually what it has to do with at all. But, so yeah, different modes for the arena. Also, from the time that some of those YouTubers were able to spend at the Namco Bandai offices, they were able to use a couple of new weapons. First of all, I just want to say my observation of the previous DLC where the guy is about to throw the spear right as he's getting attacked by the wolf boss. It is confirmed that spear is throwable. That is definitely a mechanic Absolutely. So that spear is actually called the Follower Javelin. And then there's a new weapon called the Valor Heart, which is that Gladius looking sword that we saw in the previous trailer as well. I'm not entirely sure it's possible that that's going to be a sword and shield combo weapon. I haven't seen anyone use that sword without having the lion face shield in their left hand while they're using it, so I don't know if you can equip that shield and that sword independently of one another. But that being said, that sword has a lunging attack on it that raises the shield, so you can. It's kind of like a jumping attack, and you can block things as you're jump attacking someone. So that's pretty interesting as well. Aside from that, the other weapon that we've already seen in DLC trailers but not gotten a super good look at is a weapon called the Onyx Blade. Now, that is the weapon that you've seen the self buff, the dark self buff. It kind of looks like the candlestick sword from the vanilla game. And it's being speculated that this might be the longest standard great sword weapon in the game so far. And based on the footage that I've seen, it does look really long, and the dark buff looks really good as well. And the way you apply it is super stylized. It looks super good. It's also important to note that the Valor Heart and the Onyx Blade, and I think the Javelin, I'm not 100% sure on the Javelin, but they can only be upgraded to +5, so they're kind of special, maybe even boss soul weapons. I'm not 100% sure whether they're boss soul weapons or not, but that is important to note that. And they also cannot be buffed with from outside sources. So, and speaking of buffs, we also saw the YouTubers that got to go check out the behind closed doors demo. They were able to see a new spell called Frost Weapon. So now we can apply frost to any buffable weapon, which is pretty cool, being that frost really wasn't a viable element as far as buffs were concerned, and we might see a little bit of a change in that with the release of this DLC and this PvP arena. So it should be interesting to see what like a true frost build might be able to look like when you have a little bit more utility to put it on different weapons that you're trying to use. So that's pretty interesting. We were also able to see a couple different armor sets. So those big guys with like the moose horn helmets, it is confirmed that you do get that entire set. It looks freaking awesome. I cannot wait to get that and start rocking some of that stuff. You also get the follower set, which is basically those kind of frost looking knights that we saw in the previous DLC as well that have the throwable spears. You can get their entire set, including their shield, and that shield is a weapon art shield. It is not a parry shield, so that's important to note. Another interesting aspect about the arena itself is that the actual arena takes place in the Kiln of the First Flame, and there's also apparently an option for an arena selection. So this may not be the only place you actually get to have duels and brawls. There might be a couple different locations. So that's pretty interesting as well. And, you know, that offers up a lot of different terrain that can impact combat in a lot of different ways. So that's pretty interesting. Before I close out the video, I just want to say that I got most of this information from Peve Peverson's video that he just released about the time he got to spend playing the DLC arena. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link to his video in the description if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, guys, overall this trailer is pretty good. I'm definitely hyped as fuck for the DLC now, even more so than I was before, knowing how fleshed out this arena system is going to be. It's gonna make it's really gonna breathe a lot of life back into Dark Souls 3 and the PvP community in general. You know, speaking from personal experience, obviously having a Dark Souls channel, we've been in a little bit of a lull while we're all waiting on this DLC to drop, and content has been a little bit harder to create. The creative juices aren't flowing quite as well as they were, right when the game dropped. But I think this DLC is going to breathe a lot of life back into the game and the community as well. And I cannot wait to see you guys out there on the battlefield. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to praise that sun. Peace, guys.
You crazy mother!
Praise the sun. Praise the sun. Praise the sun.